There is a phase in narcissistic abuse that is more painful than the discard itself. It is the demotion. Do you remember the beginning? You were the center of their universe. You were the grade A supply. They texted you constantly, perhaps bought you a lot of gifts, and could not get enough of your time. You were the star of the show. But lately, something has shifted. You are still in the relationship, of course, but you feel like a ghost in your own house. You have not been dumped, but you have been shelved. You have been quietly moved from the position of partner to the position of utility. You notice that you are no longer the person they take out on dates. You are the person who does their laundry. You are not the person they celebrate with. You are the person they call when they are sick or broke. This is a calculated psychological downgrading beyond devaluation. The narcissist has likely found a new source of excitement, new supply, but they don't want to lose your services, so they keep you on the back burner. They keep you as a backup plan, just in case the new shiny toy breaks. Today, we are going to expose this cruel transition. We are going to look at the undeniable proof that you are no longer their priority. You're just their safety net. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, we are going to talk about 5 signs a narcissist has downgraded you from grade A supply to a mere backup. Before I get started with number 1, join my Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse membership community, which can help you go from surviving to thriving in 4 steps. What are you waiting for? Click the link in my description or the comments, and I will see you on the other side. Number 1, they disappear during prime time, weekends, evenings, and holidays. In a romantic relationship, time is currency, and the most valuable currency is prime time. This is Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and holidays. These are the slots reserved for the most important people in our lives, right? When you were the main supply, you owned those slots, possibly to a certain degree. They wanted to be seen with you. They wanted to wake up next to you on Christmas, even though they ruined it later. Now that you have been downgraded, you will notice a sharp change in their schedule. Suddenly, they're always busy on the weekends. They have work emergencies that only happen on Friday nights. They have family obligations, their own family, on holidays that somehow do not include you. They're giving these prime slots to someone else, perhaps enablers. A narcissist cannot be alone. If they're not with you during these peak times, they are with the new one, the new supply. They are taking them to the restaurants that used to be yours. They are taking them to the movies. You are left with a filler time. You get Tuesday afternoon for 45 minutes. You get Thursday morning before they leave for work, and that too for fight. You get the scraps. They get you on the shelf during the fun times and only pull you down when the new supply is busy or unavailable. You have become a placeholder in your own relationship. Number 2, you become the cook, the cleaner, and the maid. This is one of the most painful shifts because it degrades your humanity. You go from being their soulmate to being their servant. In the beginning, the relationship was all about connection. They tried to impress you. Maybe they took you to dinner, or at least they cleaned up their apartment before you came over. Now, the relationship is purely functional. They have realized that you are useful. You are a resource that makes their life comfortable, and that's it. You find yourself doing all the labor. You are the one grocery shopping, cooking the meals, scrubbing the toilets, and folding their laundry. And what are they doing? They're sitting on the couch, on their phone, completely ignoring you. They treat you like a kitchen appliance. A refrigerator does not get thanked for keeping the food cold. It is expected. That is how they view you now. They do not look at you with love, they look at you with expectation, entitlement. If you stop doing the chores, they get angry. Why? Because the appliance is broken. They keep you around because they need a housekeeper who pays half their rent. They have trapped you in a hole where you are giving everything to maintain their lifestyle while they give absolutely nothing in return. Number 3, They constantly talk about new friends or coworkers that you are not allowed to meet. This is a form of psychological torture you know as triangulation. They start mentioning a specific person repeatedly. It starts innocently. Oh, Sarah from work is so funny. Oh, Mike has such great taste in music. I had the best lunch with the new guy that showed up in the group today. They talk about this person with a spark in their eye that you haven't seen in years. Naturally, you ask to meet them. You say, they sound great. Let's have them over for dinner. And immediately the wall goes up. No, you wouldn't get along. Or I like to keep my work life separate. Or they get defensive and say, why are you so obsessed? Why do you want to know? You're being controlling. You are not allowed to meet them because their new friend is likely the new main supply. The narcissist is living a double life always. To the new person, they're probably painting a picture that they are single or that they are stuck living with a crazy ex, which is you. If you met them, the lies would crumble. So they keep you hidden. You are the ugly secret they keep in the closet while they are out showing off their new favorite person to the world, temporarily so. They talk about them to make you feel insecure and to devalue you. And that reminds you there is someone better out there who has their attention. But let me tell you this, that's not the case. Number four, the mask comes off completely. They are horrible to you day and night without a pause. In the beginning, the narcissist wore a mask of perfection. Needless to say, they were polite, hygienic, charming, and attentive. They did that to hook you. Now that you're a backup, they don't have the energy to pretend anymore. They just cannot. They don't respect you enough to wear the mask. You start to feel the real them. They become gross. They stop showering as often. They burp or pass gas in front of you without excusing themselves. They leave their mess everywhere for you to clean up. I know people get comfortable, but this is something else. This is utter disrespect for you and intentionally doing these things to get a reaction out of you. If you have been through this, you know what I'm talking about. They stop hiding their disrespect. In the past, they may have hidden their phone screen when texting someone else. Now, they sit right next to you on the sofa, texting and smiling at the screen simultaneously while completely ignoring you. If you ask who it is, they will shut you up. They may check out other people while walking down the street ahead of you or behind you. They may flirt with a waiter right in front of your face. They do this because they are no longer afraid of losing you. They believe they have broken you down enough that you will stay no matter how horrible they act. They're showing you their true monstrous self because they are saving their nice act for the people who still matter to their ego. You just get the leftovers of their personality. That's it. Number five, they only contact you when they have a specific crisis or need a specific favor. This is the ultimate definition of being a backup supply. You are the safety net. When their life is going well, when they have money, when they can use you, there is health, attention of other people, you're invisible. They do not answer your texts, not calls. They are too busy to see you. But watch what happens when they hit rock bottom. They get the flu, suddenly they're calling you, asking for soup and care. They get cancer, you need to be there. They lose their job, they are at your door, crying about how unfair the world has been to them. The new supply dumps them for good. They come running back to you, telling you that you were the only one who ever understood them properly. They use you as an emotional paramedic. They come to you to get fixed. You nurture them, you listen to their problems, and you build them back up. You may mistake this for them coming back to the relationship. You think, oh, they finally realize they need me, but they do not need you. They never did. They need what you do for them. That's what they miss about you. As soon as the crisis is over and they find a new target, they disappear again. They discard you the moment they are back on their feet, like I said. They treat you like a hospital, a place to go when they're broken and leave that place as soon as they are healed. So, if you're listening to this and recognizing these signs and nodding your head, I want you to know that your pain is valid. It's a terrible feeling to realize that you have been demoted in the life of someone you so deeply loved. But you must understand that this is not a reflection of your worth. It's not. It's a reflection of their pathology. They treat people like objects, and objects get used. When they get old, they get put in the garage as backup. They want to keep you on the shelf forever. They want the security of your love without having to give you anything in return. They want a maid, a nurse, and a bank, all while they chase excitement elsewhere. Don't let them. You're not a backup plan. You're not a utility. Take yourself off the shelf. Stop answering the crisis calls. Stop doing the laundry. Stop waiting for the crumbs of their time, please. Walk away and let them handle their own mess. If this resonated with you, make sure you join Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse membership community. This is New Year's Eve. I am wishing you a happy new year. Let it be the beginning of your transformation, and I will see you on the other side. Link is in the comments or the description.